All right, so let's begin on what we need to do today. Of course, what was shown to you was just an intro video on the kind of things that you can watch on YouTube rather than waste time on YouTube, right? So there are a lot of interesting stuff. You may tell your parents, okay, you don't want to watch educational videos because they're boring, but they are actually not so boring if you find the right video. So I actually introduced some interesting videos that you can see. This is called Science Max. The channel is called Science Max, and you can find tons of videos. Those of you who joined me yesterday, you know this already because I showed another video from Science Max that was to do with another science experiment. So this guy has a big lab, a very, very, very big lab, and he has a very, very, very big area outside the lab where he can conduct his experiments, even fly balloons and run around, make rockets, make his own plane, fly around. You don't need me to tell you. I think you can find out for yourself by just clicking on the most famous website that you all know by heart by now. Okay, so let's look at today's lesson. We are going to continue from last week's lesson. And last week's lesson was the respiratory system. Am I right? Okay. So all good? If you're ready, thumbs up, then we start. Okay, so what's the difference between a respiratory system and the circulatory system? So we need to know where we are. Okay, we are doing systems. Okay, so you got many systems. You got human body systems, which we are currently doing. And then we also got in our primary 5 and primary 6, we're probably going to do something called the electrical systems. So that's another type of system, and so on and so forth. So systems is many things put together. You build it up, okay? Right? So what's the difference between respiratory and circulatory? Respiratory, we talked about mostly. Remember, we needed to know what the air is made up of, the components of the air. Of course, components of the air, there are some more components which we breathe from. And then what our lungs do. So we took in the lungs. And then we talked about lungs having air sacs. And then we talked about, let's have another color, the fish having gills. Who has gills? Is it humans or fish? And then we talked about something called gill filaments. These are the stuff that we talked about last week on respiratory. So what happens in circulatory is, very quickly, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do magic now. I'm going to do something. Please take note. Okay, all gone. Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about all this now. What have I left? I have left only oxygen and carbon dioxide from last week's lesson, which will be going through in the circulatory system. Circle means circle, 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 comes from the word circle. So you're going to circulate this oxygen and carbon dioxide, which we started out learning as coming into the lungs. What happens after the lungs? That's what today's lesson is about. Okay, so the lungs receive it. It's got a lot of oxygen. It's not enough just to give the lungs the oxygen. What about our hands, our knees, our legs, our feet? How do they get the oxygen? We have something inside our body to transport that oxygen. So let's quickly look at what we have inside our body. Okay, in order to go to the circulatory system from last week's respiratory system, we need to have 3 more parts to continue from the lungs. Okay, so again, lungs is not enough. Just like the nose is not enough, you take your air through the nose or your mouth. I keep liking to draw something like that, the lungs, okay? But you actually have it coming in from the nose, right? Am I right? So just like nose is not enough, lungs is not enough, to carry on, you need more stuff. Otherwise, this oxygen gets lost. It's like, hey, what happens to the oxygen that went through the nose and to the lungs? What happened? Okay, so you need to pass it to the next person to take it down to the rest of your body, because not only does your nose need oxygen, not only does your lungs need oxygen, actually it's your whole body needs oxygen, okay? Many people may have this misconception where, hey, oh, lungs need oxygen, so we breathe in, okay, it's there, lungs use the oxygen, then what happens? Carbon dioxide comes out. So you think oxygen go in, carbon dioxide come out, lungs stop, finish. No. What about the rest of our bodies? All the rest of our bodies are living organisms. They are called cells. They need food, they need water, they need oxygen. And then once they use this oxygen to grow and to function, they will release the carbon dioxide, not only from your lungs, from your heart, from your liver, from your legs, from your knees, from your ankles, from your hand, everywhere, because you need energy, right? You play badminton, use your hand. You play football, use your leg. And so every part needs to work and need energy. So this other thing that we're going to concentrate on is receiving this oxygen, going through the circulatory system and receiving energy. That's how we function. And energy is not, it's not what? Only to do with activity like sports. We can also, what? Even when we're resting now and having studying, we still need energy. Otherwise, why do you just eat lunch? Okay, did you tell your mommy, I'm going for my badminton, so I need to eat my lunch? No, no, no. Even to survive through the afternoon, you need lunch. Am I right? So that's why you need lunch. Okay, that's why you need food, and that's why you need energy. Okay, carry on. So those of you who have already filled up this for me, very good. Okay, thanks Celine, thanks Chocolate Nitya, thanks Shirlene. Okay, you already filled it up. So let's quickly fill it up. Heart, blood vessel. So you are on the ball now. You already are faster than me. And blood itself. So what's the difference between 2 and 3? Think through it. What's the difference between 2 and 3? Any idea? Okay, I'm not going to reveal now. So, okay, you will, I think you roughly know, but what are blood vessels? What is blood? Okay, blood vessels. Let's draw a little bit, give you an idea. The vessel is the road and the blood is the car. So this is the vessel in which you will transport, and this is the what? Moving mechanism that will go right from here, keep going. So blood needs to move, right? But can the vessels move? No, the blood vessels are already situated where they are. You have your blood vessels here, blood vessels here. They can't move, but the blood can move. Okay, delivery vehicle. So this vehicle can receive, put things on top, can also give away things like oxygen, food, and all that. So this is a delivery vehicle. So this is what I can draw for you to have a basic idea first. But as we move along the lesson, you probably get to know better about the function of blood and the function of blood vessel. And then suddenly you will have something called the red blood cell. Oops, what's the red blood cell? Start thinking, put it into your head like, hey, how come? There's one more called red blood cell. Okay, let's fill up. Okay, very good. All of you know the 3 basic requirements of our body, which is the requirement of our cells. So in order to receive these 3 things, who is the transport? Who's the delivery vehicle? If you don't have blood in our body, you cannot transport these stuff. So what is it transporting? It loads itself with oxygen it loads itself with food, it loads itself with water, and then it reaches your house, and then it will unload. Okay, what's your house? Okay, it will unload oxygen, food, and water to the rest of the body, wherever it is going. Okay, it could be going to your leg, could be going to your knee, everywhere has cells. Okay, every part of your body. So it will unload, and then once it unload, right, what happened? This oxygen, food, and water is no more on the vehicle. Am I right? So what happened is, you are at home, you'll be like, you know, you eat already. After you eat food, what you do? You throw rubbish. So now you're going to load the vehicle, the same vehicle, with some rubbish to throw out of your body. Okay, what's this rubbish that you throw out of your body? Okay, you load it with carbon dioxide, all the waste gases that you have in your body. It could be sulfur. You know, when we have bad smell through our stomach, coming out of our mouth or coming out of all our other areas, okay, could be through the back and also on. All these waste gases are the rubbish that your body wants to throw out. So your blood can also carry that back to the lungs and then carry it out of the body. Okay, so throw waste gases and all that. Okay, next go. Double circulation. Okay, this is a diagram that you should be familiar with, because we all know a heart looks like this. Am I right? But a heart doesn't really look like this. A heart looks more like, more like this. Okay, this is more like a heart. Yes, actually I drew a very nice one. I'm not going to erase this forever. Okay, then you have the right atrium and the left atrium, and you have some vessels going in, and then you have another vessel going to the rest of the body. Now this rest of the body looks like a network, right? So this is just a diagrammatic picture to show that this is the rest of the body. It isn't exactly like this, right? Because you need to go to the exact rest of the body where your knee, your leg, and all. Of course, if I draw, then it should be look like this, right? Am I right? This is the rest of your body, and then you have your heart somewhere here, and you have your lungs, and you have the rest of the body. And because the rest of the body is so complicated to draw, we represent the rest of the body with something like this. So when you see this, it just means the rest of the body, to make it simple to circulate. Okay, so how many of you can tell me why this slide, the heading is called double circulation? Okay, I'm going to circle the word double now. I'm sure you can see where the word double circulation. Why is it called double circulation? Not all organisms go through double circulations. Okay, the human body does. Okay, so because there are two circles. Even in my diagram, you see there's a circle, yellow color, and then what's the other color? What can I do? Green color, maybe. Green. See this color? That's green. This are the two circles. So double circle. So what happens is, we know the transportation. Of course, from last week, we know oxygen goes to the lungs. The lungs will do a filtration, take away all the harmful gases, and deliver only oxygen. Okay, deliver only oxygen to where? To the heart. Okay, so this flow of oxygen to the heart is actually quite slow. But the heart, okay, so actually oxygen is going in quite slowly, but the heart is a pump. P-U-M-P. Heart is a pump. A pump is like pushing gas or water through very fast. You know, when you try to spray water on your car, on your plants, or when you go into a shower and your pressure from the water shower that hits your head is not enough. So sometimes you switch on the pump on your water heater. Those of you who have a pump feature, you will know you can actually increase the rate of push of the water. So similarly, the heart is a pump which will push the rate of blood quickly down to the rest of the body, because there is a lot of parts to go to. From the lungs, no need to go fast, only need to go to heart, right? So can go slowly, just like you going to your mommy's house with a car, I mean your grandmother's house, only one house to go to. But a delivery vehicle, I'm sure all of us in CB, circuit breaker, we know what a delivery vehicle is doing a lot nowadays, right? Very busy. he gets a delivery, he needs to go to house A, house B, house C, house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, quickly. So you need to go fast. So this blood, that's why I say it's a delivery vehicle. You need to go to many places very fast. So you need the pump to push the blood very fast, and he carries all the good stuff to the rest of the body so that everybody gets the goodies at the same time. Okay, so you can't be asking somebody to wait for another day, then you get the goodies like oxygen. By then your fingers may die because your fingers didn't receive oxygen, right? So you need to get the goodies as quickly as possible, and the heart is doing that. So that's why the first circulation will go to the heart, and then the heart will pump, and then you'll go to the rest of the body with, let's say, which direction shall we choose? Okay, so let's say we go down. So this blood is rich in oxygen, and then it pumps fast. So this is super fast expressway, green color. So I'm going to do many arrows. Super fast, still rich in oxygen, but fast. Why? To reach all the parts of the body. Now remember, I said the delivery vehicle is losing its goodies. So there is space on the van. So what shall we put on top? Whatever our body has used up, especially carbon dioxide. So we're gonna take carbon dioxide back. So this blood that goes up will have carbon dioxide. So we call this rich in carbon dioxide. However, this arrow cannot be fast. Okay, it will be a little bit slow. Toot, 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 toot. Why? Because the heart is the one that is pumping all around. Now you don't have heart to pump. So all the energy is being lost already. Slowly it will go back to the heart to rest or to receive energy. Now it says, heart, can you pump me because I cannot go to the lung. I cannot go to the lung. I cannot. Okay, what's this? This is not heart, right? This should be the lungs. Maybe I should draw it like that. Okay, I cannot. Remember, he's so slow. So what the heart will do is, come. Let me help you. He will push because he's a pump rack. So he'll push. Phew, he'll fly back to the lungs. So the heart is the pump that will help to push because it's very slow already. By the time it's getting to the, after the rest of the body has received the oxygen, now it's carrying the carbon dioxide. It's like very tired. You can't go back to the lungs for us to breathe out the carbon dioxide. Remember, the lungs receive and then it goes back up to the nose or the mouth. Remember that. In order to reach back to the nose or the mouth, you need more energy. The blood is seeking help. Oh, please help me. I can't get back up there. And the heart comes to the rescue, and the heart takes over and says, I'll pump you back because I am the Superman power pump. I will push you back up to the lungs. And then, so the heart is the central pump region where it pushes with the energy. Okay, so far so good. All right, so later we will look at a little bit of a video to understand that whole process again, just to give you a better idea if I have not explained it clearly, but at least you can see the heart, the lungs, and the rest of the body in better picture in terms of a cartoon. And also we have somebody who have who's the narrator, who is supposed to be a cartoon character. Who it is, I'm not going to share until I come to the video. It's coming up within 5 minutes, okay? Stay tuned for the cartoon in 5 minutes. Okay, the circulatory system. So we summarize what Ali has just said in the previous slide. What did I say? Blood is pumped from the heart. Okay, you fill up for me. Okay. So this is the first circle, double circulatory, right? This is the first circle. Blood is pumped from the heart to all cells before returning to the heart. Okay. Blood from all parts of the body is pumped from the heart to the lungs before returning to the heart. So it's all hard, easy. Okay. But what essentially explains is this. Okay. It's easier to remember in terms of a diagram. So even though there's a diagram on the left, Ali took the initiative or all the trouble to draw some more diagram on the right, some more person on the left, so that you know how to draw as well. Okay, I go through these steps with you to make sure that you also can also put this down on paper yourself. It's not difficult. Okay, all you need is three part components: the lung, then put the heart in the center, and the rest of the body, and then you draw expressway or roads and cars and how they go down, how they go up. Are they going slow? Are they going fast? Are they rich in oxygen or are they rich in carbon dioxide? This is all you need to draw, and your picture in your mind will be clear about the circulatory system in the human body. Okay, so we have covered blood and we have covered blood vessels. And blood vessels look like a road. Blood, how do they look like? Now that's the problem, you know. How do I draw blood? Let me think. You help me. I have to draw blood like this, right? Am I right? This is what blood looks like. But what is in the blood isn't exactly just liquid or just water or just red liquid. Okay, it's actually many. So let's erase that and draw it slightly better. So again, blood cells. Instead of drawing it in red liquid, I'm going to draw it in red blood cells. Okay, so this, all of them put together actually look like a red liquid. Okay, if you put all of them together like this, and then I color them, obviously if they're together, they color them. Doesn't it look like it's a liquid anyway? That's why it looks like the earlier picture. So that's a difference, because at least now you know it's made up of little circles, and these little circles are called cells, and therefore they are red color. So they are red color, red cells, and they are also blood, so they call them red blood cells. Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Chocolate Nitya. You said red blood cells has no nucleus. Very good, because a red blood cell, if I enlarge the red blood cell, it should look like this, right? And then remember cells. Remember cells. What do cells have? Cells should have nucleus, should have membrane, semi-permeable, that will allow things to go in and allow things to go out. Definitely. Why? Because remember, it's going to carry oxygen. So this oxygen has to go in. And then at certain areas, carbon dioxide has to go in. And then when it receives, goes back to the lung, carbon dioxide has to go out. And then if it wants to distribute oxygen, it has to go out. And then, okay, these are the gases. And then somewhat, food has to go in. And then food has to go out. Okay, so based on this cell is so important to allow participants to enter. It's a delivery vehicle. It needs the goodies to come in and the bad things to go out, goodies to go in, goodies to go out. This is delivery, right? Remember the delivery uncle who comes, the red mart vehicle that delivers your Yakult to you or your milk to you, he doesn't own the milk. He just takes from the store, puts in his vehicle, comes to your house and gives it to you. So his job is just basically transportation. He doesn't really need to think. The person who need to think is the red mart people who will communicate with your mommy or your daddy and collect the money. So actually the brain is not required for the delivery vehicle. He just needs to know how go from warehouse to your house. From your house, go back to warehouse. Up, down, transport blood, transport food. So doesn't really need to think. So that's why red blood cells have no nucleus. Okay. All right, I'm back. Okay, so you couldn't hear me for a while, right? Okay, no worries. As long as we know, Nitya, thanks for telling me that there is no nucleus in the red blood cell. Okay, why is there no nucleus? Why? I've already covered it just 1 minute ago. Why? People may ask you why there is no red blood cell or no nucleus in the red blood cell. Why? Anyone want to raise your hand and tell me? Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Why is there no nucleus in the red blood cell? This is a very important point to know because we study cells and we find that all cells need a brain to actually function, but red blood cells is unique in that they don't have a nucleus. The reason is because you can always try to remember the delivery man for red mart doesn't need to have payment, doesn't need to have a computer, doesn't need to have anything. They just need to transport. Okay, so basically the red mart needs the brain. Your house needs the brain to pay the things, but the food just comes and goes. So what is the requirement for the cells is just transportation, right? Raika, you want to answer, Raika?
Uh, if the red blood cell have nucleus, the purpose of the red blood cell is just to transport food, oxygen, and water to different parts of the body, so it doesn't need a nucleus.
Very good. Thank you so much, Raika. Okay, that's what I mentioned, and Raika has absorbed exactly what I said. It doesn't need a nucleus, and if it doesn't need a nucleus, and then we say no, come on, all cells must have nucleus. You come and argue with me, or come and argue with science, you come argue with God and say, come on, all cells have to have nucleus, must have some kind of brain. Then God tells us, or science tells us, okay, that if I put a nucleus, wouldn't that be a waste of space when you actually don't need it? It's like going to McDonald's and ordering your meal, and then you have your burger, your fries, and your drinks. Okay, and then they say, oh, can you put some pamphlets on your tray? And you don't need the pamphlets, some advertisement or whatever. Okay, isn't that going to be a waste of space, especially to also deny you of the space to eat your burger and your fries and your drink properly? All this is not necessary. So don't add on things that will waste space. So similarly here, nucleus is going to waste the space. You need a lot of space to carry oxygen, to carry food, to carry water. And then you want to have nucleus inside as well. Then that is a lot of thinking to do. So that's why the God Almighty, or the creator of the human body, has decided, the best way to give the red blood cells the best function, the delivery, is to stop giving him his unnecessary stuff like nucleus. Same thing, red mart will not give the delivery uncle a whole piece of computer and say, you put this computer in your van, go to the house, collect the payment, if he doesn't have cash, oh, then you say, I don't have cash. Okay, never mind. I give you $100 in cash. If they give you cash, you give them change. Oh, I don't have coins. Give you coins. This is all unnecessary, right? Everything can be taken care of online. You can pay and then keep the delivery man to do his role only. Okay. So no nucleus, because not only is not needed, it's also a waste of space because we need a lot of space to transport. If you can see my diagram here, can you see on the right, I have included oxygen, I've included food, but I forgot something. So I need blue color. Do I have blue? Yeah. Hey, welcome, Mr. Water. We forgot about you. Water has to come in and out also. Okay, water, when it goes out as water vapor. Okay. So look at this is after all a cell, red blood cell, right? This is a red blood cell, there's no nucleus, and blah blah blah. Okay, now we are ready for the video. Since some of you are saying, please explain to me, teacher, again, why or what is a red blood cell, what it looks like, what it carries, and why it doesn't have a nucleus. This slide is important, right? So let's look at a video. So I'm going to send you off to see a video. Okay, I'm sure you're going to thank me for it. So it's going to be about 5-minute video. So those of you who want to go to a toilet can go. I'm sure you don't need to because you're going to see a video. Whenever it's a video, nobody wants to leave. So let's see the video. Okay. All right, so we can understand how it works inside our body. Clear? So if you want to have a look at that video, it can be found in YouTube under the topic of exploring the heart, the circulatory system. Okay, let me just. All right, so next we are going to go into the questions. Am I right? Before we go into the questions, can you all fill up this? You all are very good at filling this up already. So help me. Okay. This is one of the most important paragraphs that is required for this chapter, because whenever they will give you a question, like you have seen already in the homework they gave you, what they will tell you is somebody is going for exercising, the heart rate increases, and they're going to receive energy. How does this happen? Or how does he receive energy in order to do his work that he's going to do? He could be playing sports, he could be going for running, he could be jogging, he could be resting. So when he rests, is there a difference to when he is jogging and so on? So okay, let's read through this paragraph, get over with it, and then we'll see how we'll be using this again and again and again, over and over and over again. Okay, let's see. You can fill up easily, isn't it? When we exercise, okay, this is the why we are doing this, because of this word exercise. Okay, how the heart rate increases when we exercise. Our heart rate increases. Okay, this is the first sentence. We always will write this down. Okay, they may show you in a graph, right? A lot of you have seen this before. Oh, this guy was resting and then his heart rate increases. So what happened here? Oops, what happened? He is exercising or running or doing some strenuous activity. It doesn't have to be exercising, running all the time. He could be painting his house. He could be lifting objects and helping your mommy put the things in the kitchen. Okay, still the heart rate will go up if the exercise alone. Or doing yoga. Even yoga is exercise, right? So the graph can also explain. And then this number on the left, I know some of you are filling up and I'm talking at the same time because we can multitask. Okay, you can also see what I'm doing on the left. This is a number. This is the what? The resting heart rate, and therefore you always have a resting heart rate. It's not at zero. Therefore, it will not start at zero. You know, zero is here. Will your heart rate be at zero? If your heart rate is at zero, means it's not pumping, it's not working, you are dead. Okay, you are not dead. So your heart rate is always some number. Different people have a different heart rate depending on how many beats is beating per second. So for that, we do a measurement of our pulse, right? So we can take pulse from our pulse points on the wrist, on the neck, and there are many pulse points. You can go and find out how many clicks you feel, that's a pulse point, and that's the number of times blood is being pushed or pumped, and that's the heart rate. Okay, this is a bit medical already. You want to really know. Okay, of course, not super medical. It's also about a little bit about PE. You know, when you go for PE, your teachers have also taught you the way to take your heart rate or your pulse rate, which means how many times per minute is your heart beating and pumping blood throughout the body. And a fitter person usually has a smaller count. Okay, it's not okay. Take note. It's not the higher number wins. Actually, the lower number wins. The lower person, the number of times the heart beats, if it's lower, that means you are fitter. Why? Because your heart is so strong. Every time it pumps one time is enough to push the blood through your entire body. However, a weaker person, a weaker heart has to pump. Pump 1 time, 2 times, 4, 100 times before you can pump to the whole body. Oh, that's too weak. So a strong person needs to only pump 1, 2. So it's like whether it's a strong pump or a weak pump, right? It's like in your shower, like I say. If you have a strong pump, it's a good heater. If it's a weak pump, it's a lousy heater. The same thing. Okay, so let's continue and finish up the blanks here. Okay, this will be quick, but we will be going through this paragraph at least 4 times during the exercise later. So make sure you remember what's being done in this paragraph. When we exercise, our heart rate increases. Step number 1. Okay. Then the body requires what? A greater supply of digested food. Because you're going to exercise, you need to take the energy from your food and also oxygen, to 2 main important things that you require for energy that's carried in the blood to the various parts of the body. The 2 important components for energy is not really water. Water is to survive. Okay, water is to hydrate yourself. Water is to keep your blood cells alive. But for energy purpose, you don't say food, oxygen, water, food, oxygen, water. Yes, food, oxygen, water is required as a necessity to survive. But for energy purposes, it needs more food, it needs more oxygen, mainly, okay? The blood also rapidly what? Removes the carbon dioxide. Let's have another color. I'm going to use many colors. I'm going to have fun. So that each sentence has a new color. Oh, but this color can't be seen. So let's use white. Yeah. Removes the carbon dioxide. So you must know how to spell always. Okay, at the same time it's delivering oxygen and digested food, it will remove the carbon dioxide. So you see how many things the delivery van is doing. Hence the heart has to pump blood faster because so many things happening. This one important, faster. Because you are now exercising. This is why. Okay, you understand? Now the digested food and the oxygen are used for respiration. Let's take back to green color. I like green. I want to, some blanks I'm not filling because it's obvious. You guys know it very well. In order to, let's use the best, receive or release enough energy. Now this is another block. You see the 3 circles? Your heart rate increase. So everything has to go faster to release this energy for you to be able to do that. Okay, so that's why your heart rate goes up. Boom, 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 faster to do, because you are trying to run, you're trying to do some badminton, trying to swim. So it needs to do more work, send more blood, send more oxygen, send more food to release more energy so that you can actually swim. Otherwise, halfway through your swimming, you have to stop. You got no more energy. That's why you feel tired, right? Because your heart has been working so hard, so you can feel tired after a while. Okay, thank you, Nitya, for all the answers. Thank you, everybody, for writing the answers down just like mine. Okay, so this one has to be in your head all the time, but no need to memorize. I know it's good if you memorize, but if you can understand what's going on, you go out to exercise, your heart needs to beat faster in order to provide the energy. What happens in between is your blood cells actually need to do all this work faster, which is what? Carry the oxygen, the food, and carry the carbon dioxide out fast. In, out fast, in, out fast, in, out fast. In oxygen, in digested food, out carbon dioxide. In, out, in, out. Okay, this is what it's doing very fast, especially when you exercise. Okay, let's go to the questions that you have done. You have done, I hope, because I've been going through week after week telling you that you have to go through the questions. Otherwise, it's not beneficial for you, right? Okay, so before we carry on, let's answer some questions that you guys have for me on the chat. Okay, it's good also to share with everyone what other students are asking. You may have the same question, but you are not asking me, but your friend is asking me. So when I answer, actually it helps everyone. So I have a question. This person says, and she or he says, does nitrogen also go in and out or through the red blood cells and lungs? Help me. So for the person who asked this question, you need to look at this slide. Look at the right bottom corner where the cell is there. So the question was whether the red blood cell in particular, you know, blood is going through the veins. You can see the red color liquid, or so-called the very thick liquid that's going through. Does it carry any nitrogen at all? It may carry traces, but it's negligible and it's zero actually, because the lungs, that's the job of lung, unless your lung is faulty. So depends on your lungs, right? So lungs is act as the filter. Very good question, because we can actually find out what the function of the lungs is. Okay, this is the, maybe I should draw with a white here. Okay, this is the person with his hands. I'm just going to draw anyhow, but this is the lungs. Now these lungs take in the air. Okay, remember, it's just air only. It's not oxygen. Remember, we did last week, we did air. So air has carbon dioxide, oxygen, everything. So what happens is, remember the air sacs and all that? They have to absorb this air and only send out oxygen. So this is the filter. So it will send oxygen to the heart. Okay, heart. Got it? So heart only receives oxygen. Therefore, the blood that carries will only carry the oxygen. If it carries a little bit of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, those are okay, but they are not absorbed in the body because the body doesn't need it. Okay, so that's the answer to the question. So that is a very good question, because in the next few slides, we are always going to look at lungs, heart, other parts. Lungs, heart, other parts, just like question 1 here. Lungs, heart, other parts. From lungs, the first one should be here, E, right? What should go here? A lot of oxygen, rich in oxygen. Yes, that's why there should be some little bit of nitrogen, some little bit of nitrogen, some carbon dioxide, because that is what air is made up of, because the lungs may not have captured all this and filtered super well. So a little bit of other gases may come in, but that's why we call it rich in oxygen. It's rich, that means full, nearly 99.9999% is of the gas is oxygen. Maybe that's why 0.001 is what? The other gases, which the lung maybe didn't do a good job. Okay, so but the lung is the filter which try to eliminate these other gases. Now, so therefore this E is rich in oxygen. Remember, blood rich in oxygen. Let's look at the answer. It has to be E. Am I right? Now this blood rich in oxygen from the heart has to go to the rest of your body, which is your legs, hands, and therefore should be this one, also rich in oxygen. So it has to be H also. Am I right? This is the way it's going. And then once it's finished sending, delivery is over. Now we take red color, because red color is full of carbon dioxide. So it's trying to go back to the heart and say, send me back so that I can pass it to the lungs to expel through the nose. So rich in carbon dioxide. Therefore, G and F are rich in carbon dioxide. Answer is B. Okay, great. Okay, so next question, another person wants to ask me. Every time we go through a question, there's another question. Good, because it means you're becoming more familiar with Ali. You'll be like, oh, let's ask Ali. He's so cool, he's so fun. Let's ask him. He's always answering my questions. So let me ask. So it's good, okay? After 5-6 weeks, you are asking me more questions, which means imagine another 6 weeks go, and then you'll be like, my good friends, and then you'll be WhatsApping me and asking me questions. Because so far nobody's WhatsApping me. And then you get better answers, and then you're going to do so well in school, right? High five. Okay. So the next question came, and this person is asking me, Che, what's a white blood cell then? You only talk about red blood cell. Why you didn't talk about white blood cell? Okay, white blood cell. I've talked about it before in a few lessons. Okay, some of you may not have attended. Okay, white blood cell. So that means white. Okay, let's do white. I do not want to go into detail because it's another chapter altogether, but I can quickly say, because you are interested. Then this white, right, is actually not really so white. So that's why your blood is still red. Because, so let's draw the vessel. And then let's draw the red blood cells. Because that's plenty, because it has a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do what? To deliver water, oxygen, and food. But within this blood, since it's called a white blood cell, there must be some white blood cells as well. Little bit here and there. These are the agents or the battlers or soldiers that are going, because they said, hey, you know, blood, you are so good, you know, you're going to all parts of the body, bring me along, soldier, I will check, I'm the doctor, I will check each part, whether the hand, the leg got something wrong or not. If any bacteria, germs there, I will fight them for you and kill them and remove them. So these white blood cells follow the blood as soldiers to go and eliminate and fight bacteria. Not only fight, eliminate them so that your body is kept clean and healthy. So white blood cells are the, what we call sometimes we call it the good bacteria, which will be the soldiers to fight the bad bacteria and kill them. And this killing happens not only in your lungs, in your heart, it can be in your stomach, in your knees. Sometimes you get injured, you have a gash on your knee, right? So there's some blood. So what happens is germs immediately enter that area through the outside environment, because our body is actually protected by our skin. Nothing can go in unless germs can go in directly. If you have a gash, you cut yourself, and that's where bacteria starts to form. So immediately white blood cells are sent to that area as soldiers and say, come, let's fight this part. So white blood cells will concentrate, and guess what happened? More white blood cells will concentrate on your knee area where you were injured and try to eliminate your bacteria, that area, and clot the blood. Clot as well. Clot is done by another agent. Okay, what is that agent? Platelets. There's another small little things inside your blood also called platelets, which the soldiers carry. Why? These are ammunition tools. You don't send soldiers with guns, right? You don't send soldiers with without guns. Sorry, you must send soldiers with ammunition, weapons in order to fight, right? So these platelets are also weapons in order to patch up the area that you have a gash or an injury, and it will help to recover. Okay. So now only question 1, and I'm already answering question. I haven't gone to all the questions, but I can skip all the MCQs. Okay, I can skip all the MCQs and go straight to question 6 or 7, because all the MCQs basically talk about this number 1, which is lung, heart, other parts of the body. Is it rich in oxygen or rich in carbon dioxide? Don't believe me? Come, let's see. We go through and quickly see. Okay, number 2 is not. Only number 2 is different. Okay, those there are, I'm going to skip. This one, I drew the graph already. So 2 to 2:10, the friend is sitting, then he's jogging, then he's walking, then he's resting. So he's sitting down, he should be having a resting heart rate. Ta-da, this and this. It shouldn't be shooting up at all because he's just sitting. So C and D is most likely the answer. A and B is out because his heart is already racing at the start when he haven't even exercised. Now 2:10 he starts to exercise, so it should race up. So looks like B, C and D still is correct because they are same. Next, so now this is the critical part, right? What he does from 2:20, the next 10 minutes, he walks. So from the high point, it shouldn't suddenly be same as resting. He's walking and resting shouldn't be same. Why is it the same? Okay, question mark. Why is it the same? This is walking, this is resting. Why is it the same? Since it's the same, there's something wrong. So, but this is correct. You walk, you reduce your heart rate slowly, slowly, slowly. Then you rest, you come back to the same resting heart rate. Not immediately, but after a certain time. So that's why D is the answer. So you have to analyze the graph, although you have to think through the steps that our friend went through, Sean went through. Okay. Similarly here, this is the same as question 2. Okay, so you will see all my MCQs are only 2 types. One is this and one is that. So this one is the, when you are going through an activity, your heart will race. Now, this one is definitely wrong because it starts at 0. This is wrong. Nobody's heart rate must be at 0. So that's why D is definitely out. So this is the way I eliminate, okay? Next, he actually continuously half an hour up a hill. He is what? Walking or cycle. Then he took a 15-minute rest. These are the 2 things he did. So This is also out. When you are cycling, your heart is beating fast, but continuously. Is it correct? And then took a 15-minute rest. Okay, it should gradually increase and then it should gradually decrease. Okay, so the answer should be A. Okay, there shouldn't be a straight line when your heart is starting to pump. It should increase gradually. So that's why A is the answer. B is definitely wrong because when cycling, it shouldn't be going down. Hello. And so on. So you can actually determine whether the answer is A or C based on a gradual increase and a gradual decrease because you start resting. It doesn't immediately pop, change. Your heart doesn't just change from 100 to 80. It goes 100, 90, 80, 70. It goes down. So there should be a gradual drop like this. Gradual decrease. So that's why C is out. Oh, another one like that. Again, gradual. So this is correct. And his heart rate is at 75 when he's resting. So he's starting to exercise, then he's starting to rest, and then comes back to rest. Okay, exercise. Okay, so Peter's heart rate when he's resting is 75. Which of the following shows activity? Very easy, right? At X, he's running. At Y, he's resting. He's not running again, right? So must be resting. So answer is A. This one is one of the easier ones. I'm going to skip this question because it's the same as number 1. Okay. Somebody asked me what's the answer for question 2. You can actually check out the PDF that I load after the class to check all the answers. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, number 6, again, I'm going to skip because the same as number 1. Now, this is for you guys, the smartest science students that I have. Remember, questions cannot be a lot different even when you go to school, when you go to exams. It will always be around the same thing. So you can realize for yourself, we are asking you, there is this thing called lungs, there's this thing called heart, there's this thing called other parts of the body. There's this thing called, is it rich in oxygen or is it rich in carbon dioxide? That's all. And then we give you some graphs. We ask you, is he exercising or is he resting? If he's exercising, his heart rate goes up. If he's resting, his heart rate goes down. And there should never be a 0 for heart rate, otherwise he's dead. Okay, please make sure you do not pick the one that has 0 heart rate. Okay, so this one I'm going to skip. This one I'm going to skip because, again, very, very easy. You will find these answers when I load these answers tonight. By tomorrow, you will see them. And then you find out, hey, yeah, actually, Ali doesn't need to go through all this. So easy. He already went through number 1, and this is the same as number 1. Okay, so we go through the difficult ones. Okay, now we go through here. Okay, so this should take me 10 minutes to finish from number 7 to number 10. These are the open-ended questions. I'm going to pick up the paragraph that we tried to memorize just now. When somebody exercises, his heart rate goes up. Why does his heart rate goes up? How does it give him more energy? We need to write down. We will be asked. Again, this is based on the fact that your teachers cannot ask something different. So your teachers will ask the same. If the teachers ask the same, then you write the same. If you write the same, then you get the same marks, full marks. So why don't you get the full marks if you keep writing the same things? So you need to write the same things over and over again. Whenever somebody is exercising, his heart rate goes up. Why and how does he get the extra energy? So let's do that, okay? So like I said, in the 10 minutes, we're going to go through that over and over again 3 times. And then you are like, well equipped. Yes, I can do this. When Jack runs, he breathes faster. Obviously, okay, his heart rate goes up. Does the amount of gas, which is oxygen, inhale? Remember in the question earlier, we answered oxygen. So this gas P is oxygen. Does it increase? Does it increase, decrease, or remain the same? Does the oxygen increase, decrease, or remain the same when he is breathing faster? What happens to oxygen? Increase, decrease, or remain the same? Now, you're going to choose one, right? So obviously, you know the amount of oxygen inhaled, the more you exercise, you're taking in more oxygen, so you increase. Now, many of you just write increase and finish, but you forgot to explain why. Now, this is the other mark. So you do not go away until you explain why. Okay, so let's explain why. Okay, so many of you just leave the answer here. Okay. The amount of gas P inhaled increases. Finish. But what about the rest of the blanks there? You didn't fill up. That's why you get only 1 mark. So you always lose half the other mark because you forgot that they say explain why. Explain because similarly, when you start to exercise, now instead of exercise, you say when you start to run, you change the word exercise to run. Now, when they change the question, they say when he starts to swim, okay, so these are the things you just change. When he starts to exercise is common. Then you just say, oh, when he starts to run, when he starts to cycle, and so on and so forth, his body needs more energy. This one standard, always must say as the first sentence. Second sentence, he breathes faster to take in more oxygen. Okay, breathe faster so that he can take in more oxygen. We already said, right? Because more oxygen breathe, which is pumped through the heart to all parts of the body, which is used for respiration. Now, for respiration means to take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. This is respiration. So you will take in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide, take in oxygen, and you need to do this fast. If you want the blood to do this fast, you need the heart to work faster. So your heart rate will go up, okay? To release more energy. Now, the third one is release more energy. So this is number 2, this is number 3, and this is number 4. The rest in between, you just fill up, okay? Release more energy and carbon dioxide at a faster rate. Okay, even if you don't write carbon dioxide, it's fine. You just say release more energy, it's fine. All right? So we write this again and again. Okay, this one I'm going to skip because you can find out the answers later. What's the difference between P and Q? One will have, okay, I'll go through very fast. One has more oxygen, the other has less oxygen. This one again to do with this word we always study, rich in oxygen. Got it? Now, they can incorporate the graph again. So let's look at the graph. He's resting, he's exercising, he takes a break, and then his heart rate goes down. Okay, the heart rate stays at 120. Maybe he's taking a break. He's actually exercising here also. He's not taking a break. He's exercise at a steady speed. Maybe he's cycling, but he's just going on in a steady speed, and he's not really breathing harder than he was before. So his heartbeat is still 120. The point where he starts to slow down is here, because he starts to drop. You take note of all this. Reading a graph is very important, so you can realize you can have very elementary questions like just asking you which is more oxygen, which is more carbon dioxide, asking you which is lungs, which is heart. Those are very basic primary 5 stuff. Primary 6, we have to have more graphs, and more graphs for you to decide for yourself, where is he exercising, where is he resting, when did he stop exercising, when did he go slower, when did he go faster, and all that. Okay, so what is the man's heart rate when he was not exercising? So when he was not exercising is here, right? So let me use green color. When he's not exercising, this is the number is obviously 60. Okay, he's not exercising, he hasn't started exercising. Then he starts exercising. So explain why the heart rate increased when the man exercised. The exact same answer from question 7. Copy it here. You get 2 marks. Hey teacher, really? So easy. Yes. Question 7, same as question 8. Copy, answer, get it. Tomorrow your teacher give you test, same thing. Copy, get it. 2 marks. Next time you go to exam, final exam, copy, get answer. Why? Every time is about why the heart rate increase when you exercise. Why the heart rate increase when you exercise? Why the heart rate? Because you need more energy, so your heart will pump faster. It will take in more oxygen and give out more carbon dioxide. So to do this fast, your heart will have to pump faster and faster. So that's why the heart rate increase. So just write the same thing again. When the man exercised, okay, I'm going to highlight the things that I circled earlier to make it clearer for you. Okay, so where do we highlight? When the man exercised, his body needed more energy. This one you always write down, number 1. Thus his heart rate increased as, okay, his heart that pump the blood contain more oxygen and digested food faster. Okay, so this one faster. The word faster needed. Why? Only then you can say heart rate increase. It is related, right? So all these keywords must explain why is heart rate increase. So if you don't have the word faster at all in your answer, then you'll be like, how am I explaining something without the word faster here at all? So this word we will be looking for. How many word faster are we having? How many times? Can you quickly look at it and how many times? We have one more faster here, right? So I highlight for you. Why faster? To use for respiration, which I also highlighted and circled in the earlier question. So it's exactly the same. My point is exactly the same, but you need to include faster, 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 faster. So the heart rate increase. Blood is being pumped faster, faster. Heart is pumping faster, faster. Okay, good. What is the function of the human circulatory system in the human body? Okay, the circulatory system transports water, nutrients, digested food, oxygen through the bloodstream to all parts of the body. It also transports carbon dioxide through the bloodstream to take it away from the body. So what is in and what is out? That's what circulatory system is. Remember this double circulatory system, which is a double circulatory system, takes in the oxygen everywhere and takes out the carbon dioxide everywhere. If you write that down, you have explained the circulatory system, and that's what I've written down here. Okay, so again, pick it up in the PDF that I upload and try to read it slowly at your own time. Okay, last question, or second last, is it? Yeah, second last. Based on the results above, how does the intensity of activity affect the heart rate of a person? Again, intensity of activity means, again, exercise, right? The more intense exercise, the more intense, the more the heart rate will increase. That's it. You just try. The more intense the activity, the faster the person's heart rate. That's just one mark. Explain why the heart beats faster when the person is exercising. What does that mean? Why am I going mad? Why is Ali going mad here? Because it's the same question. Why does the heart rate, sometimes they say heart rate increase. Sometimes they say why the heart beat faster. Okay, it's the same thing. When the person is exercising. Exactly. So write the same from earlier. And that's it. You get the marks again. Okay. But your teacher sometimes can be stingy. Sometimes they don't want to give you 2 marks. They only give you 1 mark. Okay. In this question. But I'm generous. I don't want to give you 1 mark. I give you 2 marks. Okay. I will also talk to your teachers. Give you 2 marks. Because you have put in the effort to write this well. Okay. So the same thing again. More energy. Faster. Everything. Why faster? We already wrote many times. Last question. Based on the information, what's the function of the heart? Okay, based on the information above, you know the heart, right? Pumps blood, right? And sends what? Oxygen throughout the body, right? But based on the information here, we're talking about muscle. So you need to have the word muscle. This is where your teacher likes to catch you. And if you don't include the word muscles here, they will try to minus mark because you didn't base on the information above. So this one I need to highlight to you because we just put in one word muscle and we expect you to write that muscle in. If you don't, then you have not based on the information given. You are just based on the information taught in school, in class by your tuition teacher. Okay, you did not look at the question carefully. So you just need to say, although the heart pumps blood to all the rest of the body, but in this question, we're talking about only muscles, okay, because he's probably going to use his muscles to do something. State 2 differences between P and Q is also already done many times. One will have more oxygen, one will have less oxygen. Great. Okay, so exactly 4:10 plus 2 minutes. Okay, I finished my lesson exactly at 4:10 plus 2 minutes. So don't blame me. I actually finished at 4:10. The 2 minutes was to answer those questions that you had. Remember, you all asked me extra question and stop me here and there. My heart couldn't pump fast enough and finish the work in time. Okay, great. Okay, so circulatory done. Those of you who want to stay on and ask me questions, I'll probably stay on. Those of you who want to leave can leave. I'll be probably looking at the chat to see if I can answer your questions directly to you by chatting with you. Otherwise, you can leave the class now. Class is over. Class dismissed. Bye bye. See you next week.